Hello there, my name is Pixel Pluto, and welcome to another episode of Cinders, an indie visual novel based on the fairy tale Cinderella, but with a more mature twist. Last time Cinders talked with her stepmother, and we learned about Lady Carmosa's plans for her two daughters at the ball, and we also learned that Cinders won't be part of it. But we also learned about the sacrifice Cinders' mother made for her in case of, an emergency, or if she would needed help from the lakes, from the fairy lakes. No, lake fairies, my god, honestly. From the lake fairies. A lot of things are going to happen, I assume. And I hope you're in for some dramatic reading. So let's start with the next day, the next chapter. Decision time. Wake up, Cinders. Does every day have to start with us having to wake you up personally? Rise and shine, sis. What is it? Oh, is it morning already? Someone had an eventful night. I've had the strangest dream. At least I think it was a dream. Or maybe... There's no time to discuss dreams, Cinders. We are leaving. What time is it? Time when only strumpets and their johns are up and about. Sophia, that was vile. That was the truth. It's barely sunrise and I should be fast asleep. I would like to point out how realistic this hand looks like. It kind of reminds me of, being in a Renaissance painting or something like that. Don't expect me to prance like some deranged pony just because there's some big ridiculous party coming up. Why did you have to get up? It's not ridiculous. I mean, there are preparations to be made and we should be taking them seriously. We had to get up an hour ago. We need to get those dresses corrected and who knows how much time that will take. Oh yes, the grand ball. Come on, we need to go. Now. Yes, I'm coming. Cinders will be gone for the rest of the day. The house will be left under your supervision. Do you think you can manage that? Don't be dense, of course she can manage. There are more well-oiled cogs in that pretty head than in yours and mine combined, or maybe just yours. Now let's move. I can manage things for one day, Gloria, don't worry. Alright, we're going then. Bye. Toodles. Have fun. Everybody's gone except me. Back to their important businesses, plots and grand balls. Why would they care about what I may want? It's just poor little Cinders, no one important. What could such a meek creature do but just sit and whine, and then comply? Well, not this time. Today is going to be different. It's the first day of the rest of my life and it's high time I made some changes. I don't yet know how, but I'm going to that ball and I'll make their jaws drop. And when I get back, everything is going to be different. Up until now, I've only waited, heaven knows what for. Complaining and whining didn't get me far either, also a surprise. So let's start acting reasonable. I have an aim and I will achieve it. I will make the changes happen. I need to show Carmosa, Gloria and Sophia I can accomplish great things when I put my mind to it. It won't be easy, but let's face it, it would have no value if it was. I need a plan though, or at least a dress and a way to get into the ball. The rest I can just wing. Both Madame Gued and that creature from the lake offered to help me when I finally know what I want. I swear it's like I have two fairy godmothers. Having help is a nice change though. A sign the tables are already turning, so whose word should I trust? To whom would it be better to be indebted? Who's less likely to mess it up for me? Oh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that sort of choice. I'll choose Madame Guerre because you never know how you will need the fairies. Maybe for later. The fairies are like an abyss, you shouldn't stare into them too much, not to mention trusting them. How could I spend the rest of my life waiting for the price tag to appear on my happiness? And I'd probably have to pay dearly. Once you leave your happiness to fate, you become a slave of it. It can easily turn at any moment. Ged's ways may be morally grey and selfish, but at least she's straightforward about it. Where are they? I didn't thought they were grey or anything, but okay. Life isn't always peachy. She knows what she wants and how to get it, which is more than I've done up until now. I think I could sneak out and go talk with her before Carmosa returns. I should hurry then. I wouldn't want to keep Madame Guerre waiting too long with her offer just hanging in the air. Let me take matters into my own hands. With the help of her able fingers. I wonder if Madame Guerre is at her store. I hope she isn't in trouble with the townsfolk again. That brazen simpleton. It's Carmosa, I better hide. A craftsman, he calls himself. A man of trade. If it were up to me, he'd be out of business. Vulgar cretin. Need more time, milady. It can't be done, milady, idiot. I need to find another tailor, a good one. How could he be so incompetent? He saw how important this is. He said he needed more time, but there's a whole night he could spend working on those corrections. People are so brazen these days. Or maybe they just have private lives with normal families and other customers. What was that? Oh, I was just cursing at the state of the modern society and how merchants, craftsmen and all sorts of other people are just not what they used to be in the past. When they were all extremely skillful, cheap, humble, polite, dedicated to the work and always eager to help a lady in need. I really hope that wasn't irony, girl. You know how I don't... No, of course. Alright, it's clear. Looks like they weren't that lucky with their dresses in the end. Never mind that. I need to go to Ged's. Hello? Are you here, Ged? I need your help. I've made up my mind. I know what I must do. Hello, Cinders. Please calm down. There's no need to hurry so much. I was expecting you anyway. So the good folk in the town are right. You are clairvoyant. Oh yes, my third eye pierces through the veils of secrets and lies with the arcane blade of logic. Well, at least the townsfolk find it to be arcane. I know about the masquerade tomorrow and I saw Carmosa scuttling through the town. So what is it exactly that you've made up your mind about, girl? So you know that Carmosa wants her daughters to attend the grand ball. She wants the event to raise the family status in the society. So because of another technical difficulty I had to make a small cut here. But let's continue. Yes, I have gathered that much. No, wait. So you know that Carmosa wants her daughters to attend the grand ball. She wants the event to raise the family status in the society. Yes, I have gathered that as much. She also wants me to stay at home. She says we all have a part to play and mine is to clean the house for the future distinguished guests. This is not surprising. She knows you'd upstage your sisters with little trouble. Maybe she does, it doesn't matter, I just need to go. I need to get to the palace. I'm sick and tired of having to give up my dreams all the time. I want freedom and I want a bit of space for myself. I deserve it. I want Carmosa and her daughters to finally see me as an equal. Besides, I think it's going to be magical tomorrow and I get to meet the prince. A little fairy tale of my own. Laugh at me all you will, but I really need that. I start to feel as if Carmosa robbed me of everything that's magical, beautiful, or fun about life, and then replaced it with constant worry and competition. I need to prove myself that those things can still happen, that I'm not as broken as her daughters. Besides, that's only the beginning. After the ball, my life is going to take a turn. Things will change. You sound very convinced. May I know how exactly are you going to make this change happen? Unlike all the other young girls unhappy with their lives. I sort of hoped that you could help me with the details. But I basically have two routes of action that I could take. I could try to escape the town and start all over, or I could try to take control of the house from Carmosa's hands. Indeed you could, but why limit yourself? Why not become the queen? Yes, that's an option too. Since I'm going to the ball, I might as well win the prince's heart. I can see you're smirking, but I assure you that I'm serious about all of this. And that you are. It's heartwarming to see you so confident about your plans, Cinders. There's much of your mother in you. There were times when she was very determined to act against all odds as well. Is that how you see my situation? Am I throwing myself against the high tide? Our serious situation matters little, both to you and your situation. Points of view are nothing more than what they are, points from which things are seen, never the things themselves. It's always easier to learn about a point of view rather than a thing. More often than not, things remain secret, they are uncertain. But one thing is certain, choice. What is your goal? I told you I want to finally break free and... Yes, and you suggested a few routes for that, but at this point they aren't any better than the miller's daughter's dreams of becoming a circus acrobat. If you are serious about it, you need to decide what it is exactly that you want. And then maybe I can help you to form an actual plan. What I really want. What is my goal? Retake the residence, go for the prince, escape town. Oof. That's some hard decisions here. We're taking this time. For the prince, escape town. I think I will go with the retake the residence, because this whole go for the prince thing, I mean, he's a good guy, but somehow... I think we go with this one here. There's only one way for me to be happy, by being truly independent. And independence comes from status, prestige and social standing. I learned that from Carmosa herself. And that's why I'm going to take her place. Only then I can turn my house into a place where I can live happily. A bold plan, and how will you achieve this? Carmosa may seem cool and collected, but she is truly desperate. The family finances are in ruin. That's why she's trying to play the only investment she has, her daughters. But if I could solve our problems with money, I would show her that I'm far better suited to be the head of the house than she is. Impressing Lady Carmosa, do you really believe that's possible? Recently I've learned that the house is really all that she cares about. All she ever does is aimed at the good of the family and securing the future of her daughters, and that means becoming someone of significance in the eyes of others. So all I need to do is make the money problems disappear. That would be the first step towards lifting the house into greatness one more time. Yes, it would seem that's all you need to do, although I really don't know how. If I did, I wouldn't be sitting in this filthy town to begin with. I'm sure I could use a little help from my friends, maybe someone who's good with money in the first place. Someone like Tobias. You mean Tobias, the merchant down the street? Yes, him. I've known him since I was little. You could say we're very good friends. It makes sense, though I still worry that impressing Carmosa so strongly that she'd step down will not be so simple. Money is one thing, but there is also the matter of making the house respectable again. Reputation is an elusive thing, delicate and subtle like mists over the water. That's true, I need to talk about that with Tobias as well. He may not be a courtier, but he has many bright ideas on how the world operates. To be honest, I don't even know that many nobles myself, but maybe the ball could change it. It looks like we have a plan then. Which is much more than what you had when you came here. It's true, I think I know where I stand now for the first time in a long time. Still, I just have to go to the ball first. But the way things are now, the ball is just a silly girl's dream. I don't even have a dress. Ha, I'm going to surprise you here. That is the least of your troubles right now. I'll get you a dress, one of my own old ones actually. I used to wear it when I was about your age, and believe me, I melted many hearts in it. I really don't know if... Oh, I'm sure you'll love it. I'll have it cleaned and ready for the ball. Just pay me a visit before you go to the palace and I'll give it to you. Should also be able to find some way to allow you inside the palace, so don't worry about it. I just need to pull some strings. Ged, I'm really grateful for your help. I don't know what I would do without you. Don't mention it. I made a promise to your mother, remember? And a few words of advice and an old dress don't cost me that much. You might even say I managed to pay my debt cheaply. Cheaply? Well, I'm about to leave this town and was afraid that you might come asking for something requiring an actual effort. Haha, Madame Ged, selfish as ever. Do I look like some magical helper from the enchanted realm to you? I'm no fairy godmother, Cinders. And you're very lucky I'm not one of the little folk. Now go, all is set, you know what to do. I'm sorry that I'm always, clearing my throat all the time, but yeah. The weather at the moment isn't the best. So I'm always kind of have a runny nose and yeah. My throat isn't always clear, so yeah. I have no idea whether this plan is going to work. I have nothing to lose though. And a life to gain. I need to see this through to have any chance at it. I just hope Carmosa doesn't manage to ruin it. Let's avoid the next random meeting with her, shall we? And let's stop addressing myself as plural, or speaking to myself altogether. Speaking to oneself is a bad sign, isn't it? Speaking to Tobias should help with that. As well as with a couple of other things. This is going to be a long talk. If anyone can find a solution to this money conundrum, it's him. He really has a good business head on those shoulders of his. Oh, I hope I can come up with something. Cinders, it's good to see you again. I swear, whatever Lady Carmosa is doing to keep you indoors, it clearly isn't working. You have no idea, but today is a bit different. Big changes are coming, Tobias. I came to speak to you about something very important. Yes, I can see that. Tell me what's going on. I came to ask you for advice on business matters. Really? Now this is something I honestly did not expect. Although I won't deny that it's a subject I feel very comfortable with. What do you need? You know I'm not on the best of terms with my stepmother and how easy it is for her to turn my life into hell on earth. Yes, I've noticed. Then I guess you've also noticed that she has her mind fixed on two things she values in her life, family and status. Everything she ever does aims at strengthening one or the other, or both. All else is expendable. Lady Carmosa is an ambitious and driven woman. I must give her that. Not only that, she also respects it in case of her daughters requires those qualities from others. I think I'm beginning to see where this is going, but please continue. I had no doubts about you being able to grasp my subtle plans. The point is Carmosa's troubled. The family has financial problems and her daughters aren't the social predators she designed them to be. She's getting desperate and clumsy, and above all, she could really use some help. And since she won't be receiving any from her daughters, she might as well accept it from the one who's always been a thorn in her side. Precisely, if I could solve our money problems, just imagine her astonishment. Her illusions about Gloria being able to successfully take her place someday would vanish immediately, or at least she should start considering alternatives, making her recognize a much more suitable candidate for the job. Yes, the question is, how do you do it? How do you make a noble house successful? This is much more complicated than just solving money problems, Cinders. If you were a client asking me for advice on the matter, I'd ask you to pay me extra. Let's talk about that when I'm the lady of a newly restored powerful house, shall we? Yes, let's. What I mean is, solving money problems is one thing. This can usually be done by selling things if you have something that can be sold. Then investing the money where profit can be made, and finally paying your debts if there are any, and landing safely with a nice stable inflow. Sounds very romantic. But restoring a noble house to its former glory, this is a much more complex issue. From what I gathered about noble families, their influence, prestige and power lies almost entirely in perception of others. If a house is respected, considered prestigious, and the words of its head are deemed influential, it is only because other houses agree that it should be so. The grand ball may be happening every few decades, but the masquerade goes on every single day. You may describe it like that. The point is that there are rules to this game of perceptions. Power and status may be illusions, but they are not arbitrary. So what are the rules? That's my concern. I'm not really an expert in such things. I'm just a common merchant, not a courtier. With your wit, I'm sure you can come up with something. Flattery, how very highborn of you. Maybe you're already on the right track to glory. From what a humble shopkeeper can tell you, building prestige is all about parties and societal events. Also having the right kind of people visiting you on a regular basis, so that they can be described as friends of the family. So I guess being friends with the prince might be considered an asset? Ha, nah, princes aren't very fashionable this season. I'm hearing dukes and viceroys are all the craze nowadays. Wait, you're serious? Of course I am. Think about the ball. If I manage to get inside and speak to the prince, I'm sure befriending him won't be difficult. But how will you get inside? Isn't that dangerous? Also, what makes you think he'll like you? I mean, not that you're not likable or anything, but what if he's relax, Tobias. Just think, this is my moment. It's probably my one chance in a lifetime to simply approach him and talk. I wanted to go to the ball anyway, I might as well use it to advance my plan. But there will be guards. It's a royal event. It isn't some party you simply crash. Trust me, I will have aid. Why did that sound so ominous? Also, just look at my options. It's the best chance I have to solve my money problems, impress Carmosa, and finally change my life. I think you get too emotional about this. Try seeing it in terms of losses and gains. You're right, of course, you're right. I still think it's risky, but it's surely an opportunity not to be missed. If you actually can befriend the prince himself, then you should be on the right track. It won't immediately solve your money problem though. In time, maybe. If you play it right, you could gain honors and even some land of an actual monetary value. But to increase your chances and capitalize on the ball, you should follow up with some parties of your own, invite the right people, make a lasting impression. And that's the problem. Organizing a posh party like that requires money I don't have. Yes, that's what I was getting to. To solve your money problems, you would need money. Social connections are going to get you only so far. Especially in the beginning, you don't want to become a meaningless flavor of the month. Then I'm in a rut. I need money to make money, which I don't have. I suppose this is not going to be easy, otherwise Carmosa would do it herself. Yes, however, you have one important asset she doesn't have. Namely being acquainted with a certain prosperous merchant who would be willing to lend you the necessary amount of gold. But only under the condition that you would be the lady of the house. You would do that for me? I would, Cinders. You are my friend after all, and I value that more than money. I wonder if I will in the end marry, but yeah. Your plan sounds crazy, but if it works, it's your chance to finally set free. I would hate myself if I wouldn't at least try to help it. I don't know what to say, Tobias. I simply don't. Besides, I know you well enough to think your plan may just work. And in such case, I would expect some healthy interest once you get rich and famous. We would talk the details once you get back from the ball. Haha, Tobias, merchant to the very end. What can I say? The store didn't raise itself to prosperity by itself, you know. Oh, of that I'm sure. I am really lucky to be able to ask you for advice, you know that? And I'm always happy to provide it. Just be careful out there, alright? Don't worry, I feel that for the first time in my life I actually know exactly what I'm doing. This will work. See you soon. Bye. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. And off she goes. If this were a game of chess, she'd be the queen and I a pawn. Let me take another sip. To oil my voice. Looks like Hermosa is still out. Good. I was honestly afraid I wouldn't be able to get back on time, or worse, stumble upon them on the way home. Nobody should have to come home hoping to find all the people gone, praying to be left alone. Fortunately, with some luck, it's the last time I feel like this. Tomorrow everything's going to change, one way or the other. Wonder if I'm actually able to do what I'm fighting for. Can I run this house on my own? Seems easy when Carmosa does it. Yell at a few people, humiliate some, be a bitch, and Bob's your uncle. I hope I won't become her. I hope I won't have to. Alright, enough of this. I need to go into my room and stay there as usual. When Carmosa comes back, I need to look like nothing is going on. The garden looks odd in this pale moonlight. Everything is set for the ball, but there's no living soul here except me. It seems so unreal. Just a few hours ago it was full of servants, carefully setting every little piece of decoration. Now it's deserted as the preparations come to an end. Only the wind does not hesitate to run freely and ruffle everything. You know, I'll be honest with you, he doesn't look very handsome. Yeah. Of course shouldn't be the main criteria to marry someone, but yeah. I have to say, it feels unusual tonight, like a child about to go off during the storm. This tension in the air almost feels tangible. Our court jester used to greet people, "May you live in boring times." This feels like the grim opposite. Almost like an omen of things to come, a sign of a storm closing in. Interesting times. I wonder whether this has any chance of success. Can I commit to change and make it happen? Is this even possible? I've read the philosophers, but never seen it come true. Books and idealistic theories are one thing, but people tend to resist change, even change for the better. Father didn't make it any easier for me either. He was a good ruler and he's remembered very fondly. Anything I'll do will be seen as betraying his legacy. It would all be easier if he had been a bloodthirsty tyrant. It feels like a storm is coming indeed. Even if I succeed, history may remember me as a renegade. And will any woman stand by me through this? Is this ball the best way to look for such a person? In the absence of better ideas or better judgment, I have made my decision the best I could. Now all there is to do is to see things through and hope. The weather tonight really doesn't feel right. All the dogs in the kennels act as if possessed. I should get back to the palace. Let's hope for an interesting ball night and boring times. I'm glad I could finally take off that damn dress. It's badly done, badly cut, tight as hell, and looks ridiculous. No corrections are going to change it. I really wonder if they just scanned the hands of someone in. You know, I mean, this looks like a photograph. And this here as well. That little old man called himself a tailor. What a joke. I bet I could do a better job sewing a suit for him. Oh, I should trim his waist good, cut his trousers tight in all the right places. The little fellow would be even smaller by the time I was done. This whole situation is stupid. No matter how tight and tasteless our dresses are, they won't make any of us a princess. Here again, very realistic. I mean, I don't mind that. I guess they just didn't want to put too much time into drawing hands. Drawing hands is very, very difficult. Gloria, weren't you supposed to be in the garden? It was, but the weather turned bad so suddenly. I've never seen the weather change so quickly. Oh, my big mature sister got all spooked by a big bad cloud. Don't be ridiculous, Sophia. I'm not in the mood for this. Maybe you would like to get all soaked in the rain and look miserable, but I surely don't. Well, I don't see a single drop of rain outside. Neither can I. Strange. I swear I could see flashes between the clouds. Are you practicing talking about the weather before the ball? Because it's not working. You're still boring. No, but I can see you are already sharpening your tongue. The prince will surely appreciate your wits. And how is your dress, Sophia? By all things held dear and holy by all the naive people in this world, I swear if you ask me this question one more time, you'll feel my pain. The reason I repeated the question so many times today... Oh, wait. The reason I repeated the question so many times today was in the hope that it would stretch a little over time. Oh, well, it didn't stretch an inch. The tailor did a good job there. When I wear it, I feel like a properly packaged piece of pork. Why didn't you tell Mother then when we were at the tailor's? He could have applied for the corrections. Because her loving motherly eyes told me, one more complaint and you're dead, girl. Your choice of words is poor as usual, but I agree with your sentiment. Mine is still much too tight as well. Haha. I always found it astonishing how my pain tends to trigger such immediate joy in your little black heart. No, it's not like that. I mean, you're right about the joy part, but something else made me laugh. Do tell me. I'm sure it's going to be utterly enlightening. Well, tell me, aren't these dresses a wonderful metaphor for our lives? I fail to see it, I'm afraid. We're trying to fit into clothes which someone else made for us this whole time, or rather for the image of us in that someone's head. I bet they're a perfect fit for those phantasms inside Mother's mind, disciplined and pretty as dolls. Stop it, your bitterness is getting tiring. And stop being so childish, it's only a dress. A lady must learn how to walk, talk and smile even if the corset is a bit tight. You know that Mother is only trying to teach us how to behave properly in society. She had to endure far more than a tight dress to get us where we are now. Oh yes, the sacrifices she makes to make us shine during the grand ball. Your cynicism gives you little credit. You know very well that this is important to her. Perhaps it is. But tell me this, sister. Is it important for us? Finally, the day's over. Both dresses fit, everything's in place, and even that incompetent tailor agreed to lower the price. All things considered, it all went better than expected. It's a shame the girls don't seem to realize how important this is for them. Nor do they appreciate how much effort it takes to prepare two young ladies to make their debut in court. Especially if nobody cared to invite them. They're not even aware of what that means for women their age. By noble standards, they're getting old and must be introduced soon, if they are ever to find a husband. And without a husband, they may as well lock themselves up in this house and wait for old age to come and relieve them of their miserable lives. I hope they'll grow up soon and open those naive eyes to the way the world works around them. It's either that or they will end up alone in some dark and empty room, forgotten and hated by everyone. Oh well. Thank heavens for the night. If nothing else, it's easier to hide oneself in the dark from the gaze of others. If no one wants to see it, it isn't happening. That's the way people work. And I learned that lesson the hard way. Is that a storm coming over the horizon? It's one of those strange cold ones. Without rain. Fun fact, it's very windy here as well. Right now. I think I remember a storm like this many years ago, that night when she died. It's no good to think about things like that before I go to sleep. It's late and the weather's turning bad. I better close the window before the storm comes. So, and that was the sixth chapter. And I will end the recording here. You are welcome to like the video, and you are also welcome to tell me how bad my decisions are in this Let's Play and how terrible all these technical problems are in the comments. And you're also welcome to subscribe to my channel. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video a little bit. And thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.